I'm pretty sure that the Detroit Lions are going to be moving on from Trey Flowers. Hello, everyone. My name is Derek, and welcome back to Detroit Lions Syndicate. You already know what we do on this channel, but before we do that, subscribe. If this is not your first time here, there's a rule. If this is your third video that you've come back and haven't subscribed, you must. The YouTube algorithm says you must subscribe. So do me a favor. No pressure. Just subscribe if you want to. 3 years ago, in the offseason of 2019, Matt Patricia, in his second year as Detroit Lions head coach, brought over free agent Trey Flowers from the New England Patriots. Trey Flowers at the time was 25 years old and was one of the top free agents on the market. As a matter of fact, he was ranked number 3 on the NFL's list of the top 101 free agents, and he was ranked number 3. We were able to lure him to the city of Detroit with a $90 million payday. $90 million is what we offered Trey Flowers. Now, I remember being pretty excited about the move, but pretty disappointed in the fact that he was overpaid, in my opinion. $90 million was too much for Trey Flowers at the time. Trey Flowers was coming off a 7.5 sack season when he came to Detroit. And when he got here, he did exactly what he left off doing. 7.5 sacks, 62 quarterback pressures. It was his best year as a Detroit Lion. And since his first season as a Detroit Lion, Trey Flowers has only played in 14 games. 14 games. So to put that in perspective, you have 16 the first year and 17 this past year. You add those up, you're talking about 33 games, and Trey Flowers has played in less than half of them. After that stellar first year, in the 2 years since, Trey Flowers has had only 3.5 sacks with 19 quarterback pressure. So he's not even getting a third of the QB pressures that he got in his first year. A lot of us think that the Detroit Lions will indeed cut Trey Flowers sometime this offseason. Brett Holmes isn't going to divulge too much information, especially with the draft coming and the potential of us drafting an edge rusher to replace somebody like Trey Flowers. But when asked about Trey, here's what Brad had to say. We'll keep open dialogue with Trey and his camp, and I think that's the best thing to do in all these situations, whether it's players on expiring contracts or whatever contract status they have. Just keep the dialogue open. There is a possibility that the Detroit Lions could trade Trey Flowers to try to get some extra capital in this NFL draft, maybe a 4th rounder, maybe something like that. If we gave up a 5th and a 7th for Trinity Benson, who's done nothing, I think that we could at least get a 4th and a 7th for Trey Flowers. But you know what? I would take a 4th at this moment. But let's say they don't get anyone to bite on the trade bait, or they don't even put Trey Flowers up to trade. Well, what options do the Detroit Lions have when it comes to cutting Trey Flowers? According to Over the Cap, for 2022, Trey Flowers has a cap number of $23,239,000. The dead money pre-June 1st is $12,853,000, and they can save $10,386,000. If they cut Trey Flowers post-June 1st, his dead money is $7,239,000. The cap savings would be $16 million. That's what a lot of us think that they're going to do, is cut Trey Flowers either post or pre-June 1st. If we cut him post-June 1st, we save about $6 million more in cap space than if we were to cut him pre-June 1st. But there are 2 more scenarios, according to Over the Cap, that I didn't really know about until I was looking at this for this video. So check this out. The Lions have a 3rd and 4th option. That would be to trade Trey Flowers post and pre-June 1st. Let's take a look at the numbers if they decide to do that. Again, this information comes from Over the Cap. If we were to somehow trade Trey Flowers after June 1st, the dead money would be $5,614,000, and we would save $17,625,000. Now, that post-June 1st trade looks amazing. The issue is free agency has already passed. A lot of the people that you may have wanted to grab in free agency will be off the table. So the Lions have a decision to make. Do you, A, keep Trey Flowers for at least this year or the remainder of his contract? He spent the 3rd year as a Detroit Lion, he only has 2 years left under that $90 million contract? Or do you cut him pre-June 1st to try to snag some people in free agency, only saving about $10 million in cap space? If you do it post-June 1st, you save $16 million in cap space, but you miss out on pretty much the entirety of free agency. Or do you just take it on the chin? Do you trade him after June 1st and save $17 million? That right there is very risky. Plus, you have a trade. You have to have a trade partner, which we know all too well about. I'm sure somebody would take Trey Flowers, but the issue is who. So I think the Lions are going to go with the cut post June 1st, save that $16 million. If the Lions are going to try to use that money in free agency, Trey Flowers will be cut in the next 2 weeks. I don't know if that's going to happen. But if they got somebody down the road, somebody that could be cut later as we get closer to the season, then they can take that post-June 1st approach. So leave it in the comments below what you think we do with Trey Flowers. Do we A, cut him pre-June 1st, put B for post-June 1st? Do we C, trade him pre-June 1st, or D, trade him post-June 1st? I'm looking forward to seeing your response. My name is Derek. This is the Trey Lions Syndicate. You know what we do on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video. And as always, go Lions.